Hello and welcome everyone to
Hello,
the
everybody.
Tech AMA. Come on, dude. I'm trying to talk here.
All right, go for it. Go for it.
Hello and welcome to the Valley Tech AMA. We're here to talk about the workloads. And before we do that, I do want to show this off really quick. LFG is here to accelerate, innovate, and
Ooh,
orbit.
like that moon dude.
That's it. Today with me I have Elijah
Hey, hey.
and good Paul, please and thank you. We have Even Wave, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend. If
What's
you don't
up?
know him yet, you will at some point. And Johnny, of course, the founder. How
What's
y'all
up,
doing?
guys? Hey, doing great. How you guys doing?
Awesome. So,
Not too
without
shabby.
further ado, let's talk about the workloads. Let's talk about what they are right now and what the plans are.
Yeah, so I could get this started, Johnny. So
Yeah,
currently, the workloads is running IPFS. It's a decentralized storage solutions that enables users to access data without relying on a central server. So Valley can leverage this to support DApps, content publishing, and when you do NFTs, you'd be able to store metadata to it.
totally. Yeah, and then the short to medium term plans are to have all of our global leaderboard high scores, kept track via these nodes on the blockchain. And then the longer term goal is to have the nodes themselves running the games. Whether we use that option for our nodes or go another route, that is one of our nodes, one of our options. But we have tons of things that we want to do with the workloads for the nodes, so there's no lack of options there. And they did just go live very recently.
And it's honestly, to me personally, the coolest concept ever because historically I've been dealing with a lot of games that lose support eventually. And without dedicated servers, it turns into this entire journey of trying to figure out how to interact with other people. And eventually, if that problem is solved for everyone, I feel like it's a win for everyone in the long run.
Yeah, I was thinking back to when, what was it, last year that AWS went down,
Oh yeah.
and then I think it was Last Expedition that
Oh
kept
yeah.
running. Was that?
Yeah,
That's
yep,
Yeah,
it.
that's correct.
that's pretty cool. So that's a novel, awesome thing that these nodes can benefit our ecosystem for. And we're going to have hundreds of games, so we definitely can utilize those nodes.
Oh yeah.
So, what else? Oh, sorry, the dog. So, what else you guys have in store for us? I'm gonna really quick take care of this.
Um, so yeah, I guess first off, actually, I wanted to introduce Evenwave, who is the new Valley community manager and has been killing it. I think a lot of you know and love Evenwave, but thank you for coming on board, Evenwave.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So we do have a lot of cool stuff to talk about today. Let's see. I'm just pulling up my little list. When a few alpha things. We recently launched our nodes so that you can start now operating your nodes and accruing tickets, which tickets like in an arcade, and then those tickets can be redeemable during our token generation event, which we are aiming for Q1 of 2025. There is so much behind the scenes negotiations and talks with that, but Q1, that's what we're aiming for the launch of the Valley token. And so those tickets will be redeemable during that token generation event in Q1. And then on Thursday, we launched our leaderboards, which is super exciting for us. And I don't know, Evenwave, if you want to talk a little bit about how that's been working and what currently the leaderboards are tracking, and then what they will be as soon as next week.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we released our global leaderboard system last night. As of now, every game on the Valley platform is going to have a daily leaderboard and an all-time leaderboard. The daily leaderboard is going to pay out in daily rewards, and the really cool thing about that is that on the daily leaderboard, no matter how big or small your score is, you're going to place on the daily leaderboard and get a reward of some kind. So, any score, big or small, can earn Valley just from playing our games. Right now, we have several Discord games, maybe many people may not even be aware of that, but
Yeah.
if you're in our Discord server, you can see them over on the left hand side, and we've got like Wordle, we've got Flip a Coin, Typing 2048. Um, all of these Discord games will also have leaderboards, not just the more visual, video games. They all will. So I'm super excited about that. We just did our first emissions for last night with everything that everybody had earned thus far, and set up a way for people to check their emissions and earnings in the Discord. And it's just something I'm super excited about. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to play as much recently. Just been super busy, so I haven't been able to actually place on the leaderboard. But that's coming probably tomorrow.
You had me at Wordle, man. Not gonna lie.
I
Even the
love
typing
Wordle.
game, that was pretty great.
And
Yeah.
just really quickly, a little unrelated, can we talk a little bit about the ingenuity behind using GIFs to track progress in Flutter? Because I felt like that was really cool, very simple, really easy to use without having to build out like super crazy infrastructure.
Totally, and that was really out of necessity because we didn't have our global leaderboards up and running yet, but we really wanted to get Flutter in the hands of the community, and so that was just a great. It turned into like a cool little marketing, like organic campaign because everyone was posting all of these GIFs, and yeah, Sharish, our lead developer, who did develop Flutter. He was able to get that going as intuitively as possible. That being said, now with our global leaderboards up and running, it's just going to be way more intuitive. You just go in and play the game, and you don't have to do anything. Um, and Flutter actually will be launching for real next week at some point, and there are going to be some updates and new things in there that are enhancing the experience. So that's going to be really cool because it's awesome that you can go in and play like a Discord game right now, and the Discord games are really fun and engaging. The rate that you'll be earning from the Discord games is lower than the rate that you'll be earning from our Valley games, which would be Flutter, Alien Influencer, all of the third-party games that are coming, and you can play those. Most of them you can play on mobile. All of them you'll be able to play on PC and Mac. And then on top of that, the cabinets themselves will then earn at the highest rate. So however you play, there's a way for you.
Oh, Sherish is here with us spiritually.
Yeah.
Hey, Sharish.
Sharish?
So for the leaderboards, is there any chance for us to have the classic arcade leaderboard where you input your name with three letters by going up and down?
A lot of people have asked that, which is
Ooh.
it's great because like everyone wants that classic arcade experience. Right now, the platform itself, which is think of that as like a Steam or Epic when you go in, and that's the platform. That is currently being developed, but we're going to have an MVP um, of that next week. So the answer is maybe. Um, but it's great because the Discord leaderboard, you've got your names in there as well. It's not just your ETH address, which I think is really cool. And so next week we're going to have that platform ready to go, really, so that we can have that in a small tabletop cabinet that we're going to bring to Thailand Blockchain Week, which is November 9th through the 15th or 16th. So yeah, if you guys are in Bangkok, 9th through the 16th, hit me up. I'll be there speaking on a few panels. We'll have the first Valley cabinet. It won't be the full upright, but it'll be a legit tabletop Valley cabinet that you can interact with the Valley platform, play Flutter, earn. Uh, we'll have to decide if for Bangkok we want it to be earning at that cabinet rate or just the regular online rate. But either way, it's going to be really cool, really fun.
So do you think from this Bangkok conference, this might be the first time that people get a look at like what one of these cabinets might look like a real actual?
Yes, this is going to
Awesome.
be the best first glance, but it's still not going to be the final upright like full cabinet that will go on sale very soon.
Right.
And actually, I might as well just say our plan is to open up the pre-sales for the official Funko cabinets later today. So that's a little alpha as well.
I'm here for it, man. Another thing I want to bring up was because I feel like we haven't really talked about it. I've seen it in Discord. The I can't actually think of the actual term for the first 500 people purchasing Valley nodes, getting the blueprint to put together their own arcade cabinets.
Yeah, I feel even Wave. I feel like you know more about this than anyone at
It
this
is kind
point.
of fresh in my brain. I did for anyone who's interested, check out our Valley YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're on all socials, and on those socials, I just recently did a 6 video short series on the DIY arcade cabinets, because to me, that's one of the most exciting things about the whole Valley ecosystem. Is the when I heard that I could have one of the Valley cabinets in my house and be able to play at my own leisure and earn at the higher rate that's usually reserved for arcades. I mean, that's the moment I got hooked. And so that's what I was most excited about. And there's a nice 6 video short series that you can check out if you want some more info about that,
Oh,
Yeah,
about how you can get one of those DIY cabinets. Because there's
sweet.
only going to be 500 of them, and they're going to be special. They're going to be awesome.
Speaking of which, currently the Valley Node sale is in the second tier, and we're 75% in. So you do have time to pick one up and get the blueprint to put
oh yeah,
together your own. And a
Mhm.
good Paul. Oh, there's the link. All right, go check it out.
yeah. So we've sold 175 last time I checked, and the
Mhm.
first
That's it.
500. So I guess there's 325 more. The next 325 will be the last to have the additional NFT, which includes the license for the higher earning cabinet, where you don't necessarily have to purchase the full Funko cabinet to have that higher earning.
Yeah, and one of the best things about the DIY cabinet is that it's going to be very affordably priced, especially compared to the professional pre-made fun cabinets. And that is one of the reasons specifically why we wanted to limit how many of them are out in existence, and are using the node sale, to kind of limit it to the first 500 nodes sold for those, is because we want those to be special. Like, we want someday somebody in an arcade or restaurant to be like, you have one of those in your house, like, is mind blown that you have one. So it's kind of
For
the
what
idea
it's
with
worth, man, I feel very special. I appreciate it.
that.
Yeah,
And I
those.
did oh
Also,
sorry, yeah, I did pick up a miter saw. Like, I'm very scared of it still,
ooh,
but I feel like I have almost everything I need to put together like an actual arcade cabinet. Probably tabletop because it'll be easier, but yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be I think my favorite part is seeing all the different DIY cabinets that come from the community.
Oh yeah.
I know there's been some people talking about doing some crazy things. The pool, the cabinet in a pool.
Pepe Sailor. Yeah, that one was pretty epic. Waterproof controllers and the whole 9 yards on a big projection screen in the pool.
So he has to do that now that we're saying it
Yeah, I think it's
publicly.
contractually
There's
locked in.
no backing down. Um, yeah.
I saw a video pop up on my YouTube feed yesterday, and it's a guy sitting in like an Acura dealership after it's closed, and he's playing. I want to say it was the new Call of Duty game on like this huge monitor that's just spans across the entire wall. So that's what I want to see. That's what I'm
Ooh.
here for. Somebody buy a billboard or rent a billboard on Times Square, make it work.
Someone would always go above and beyond just to have like the full experience. And that would be interesting to see, and just giving the control to the community to be able to do their own DIY cabinet is just amazing.
Yes.
And
I'm super.
that was a great tee up, and I promise I did not have ask you to tell me this, but so we were talking to a local movie theater about our cabinets, and they're one of our cabinets is going to be in a local movie theater, but a different movie theater that I was recently talking to was talking about it, and they were like, "Hey, why don't we have once you guys launch, which is right around the corner, have it on a big screen, in the theater,
Ooh,
and then people can come
that's
in
so
and play.
cool.
And
That's so cool.
so I think we're going to do that locally, and as well, we're going to have sometime, I think in early December. We're figuring out the exact date, but we're going to have a big launch party at Happy Valley, which is the arcade bar that my wife and I own, and we're going to have. I think we're going to live stream that with multiple cameras and do giveaways. KCBC Brewing, which is I think the best brewery in New York City, they they made a beer for us for our first game, Flutter, and they're going to be making one for Alien Influencer as well. So they're going to be a part of that. It's going to be like a big launch party. So that's going to be really fun.
Will I be able to use the tokens I earned while playing to buy beer?
Great question. That is our very long-term goal. So that will be a venue to venue decision. We have been talking to a lot of venues, um, so many venues, and that is something that a lot of them bring up before I even bring it up, especially if they're any bit versed in Web3. So that is something that we can make happen. We can't guarantee it for every venue because some venues might say, "What is this? I don't understand." But a lot of them are really gung ho about it. We are going to have NFTs for each game, but none of them are going to be pay to win or and no microtransactions. They're all just cosmetics, so no need to purchase an NFT. But if you'd like to have a glowing UFO, we got you covered, and they're going to be very, very affordable. I think none of this is set in stone, but we were thinking like a $3 NFT, like a $9 one, and then maybe like a super special like $39 one. That was just initial thoughts.
Listen, man, I just spent like $400 on a Counter Strike knife.
Sure.
Sure, yeah.
Yes, please, good Paul. What are some other Discord or arcade games you'd like to see in the system?
That's a good question. That's a good question for the community too. Yeah, if anybody knows.
God, Teenage
Yeah.
Mutant Ninja Turtles for me.
Oh man, you are so right.
Can you do that as a Discord game?
Oh, I don't know.
No.
We actually did have a pretty cool suggestion last night, which was to make like a RPG bot, kind of similar to what LFG had.
Oh,
In their
right.
Discord.
Yeah,
That would actually be like an interesting Discord type thing we could do.
You know what's funny is
Would
because I
be.
know Sharish has developed a game like that. So maybe that's the next one we do.
That would be
Well, hear
awesome.
me out.
I
Hear
think a
me out.
classic
Instead of
Pac-Man would be pretty good too.
Ooh, yeah.
Classic
have
Pac-Man,
you
for sure.
Yeah.
have you also I think it's called Pac-Man 99.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Insanely cool concept.
Yeah.
Just stretching the battle royale genre over it. But back to Ninja Turtles, I think there's a way to do this. I don't know how legal this is. Do not get it twisted. I don't know anything about anything, but it could be like adolescent torturous. Probably.
Yeah, just say like the blue turtle said to the orange turtle, and
torturous.
yes,
Let's just
yeah,
not look into the legal side and just do it, and then I'm sure we'll be fine.
dive right in.
Yeah, no way that could go wrong.
Just gotta cross your fingers, right?
But yeah, something else that I was just talking to somebody about is our community has been fantastic and so like positive about everything. We've done no marketing up to this point. So everything has just been like a pretty localized community. We'll post on socials and do all that, but we haven't started any like real outreach. Going to Bangkok is going to be the first of that. And I guess what's kind of cool right now is it's like everyone who's in it it kind of feels like we're at the beginning of something really special and really, really like it's about to bust loose. And I am so excited. Got a lot of stuff planned. Yeah.
And the notion of just playing on a cabinet or an arcade cabinet or reliving like the good old days, and next thing you know, it's actually connected to the blockchain and it just seamlessly work, and you don't even realize that, and you're just having fun. It's just such an amazing thing, I'd say.
Yeah, and we don't want to brand them as if you go into an arcade, it's not going to say like Web3 cryptocurrency arcade. You know, it's just gonna.
Yeah.
It's a
I think,
classic.
yeah, most people won't realize they're playing on the blockchain. And for those who don't know, so you'll go up, you'll the venue will set the price, whether they want it to be a quarter or free or a dollar or whatever. We're suggesting a quarter, but they can do what they would like. And once you press play, you're interacting on the blockchain. There's a transaction hash that's been created for you, and then it's going to be super seamless and easy. If you would like to, have that score be um, have the Valley token that you earned during that run. Once people see that, then that's when they're going to say, okay, I'll put in my like very basic information, and then now they are a Web3 user, interacting and playing, and they own a cryptocurrency at that point. Like super simple. So we think it's going to be a lot of people's first time, not only playing a blockchain game, but also owning any cryptocurrency, which is really cool. And that's what a lot of people like in our arcade have been telling us. They're like, I don't know anything that you're talking about. uh, but they're like, and I can trade this thing. And it's like, it's just, I think hopefully we hit that like right um, slice of seamlessness, easy to understand, and they're like easy to play games, hard to master because they're all arcade games. So I think it's going to be really great, especially paired with the fact you can play it mobile and on the PC. Like I think it's a big potential market from that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way you describe the user experience, that's just really seamless. You just play. Oh, do you want to enter your information and you would get what you earned? Great.
Yeah. If not, okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to immortalize yourself?
Would you like to be able to eventually buy a beer
Yeah.
with this token?
And
Cool.
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like we don't talk about this enough, or like maybe I just can't get enough of it. But just conceptually, it feels like the perfect intersection of blockchain and the regular Web 2 world. Because realistically, the biggest thing that's stopping people from participating with anything related to blockchain, whether it's just crypto or something more complex, is onboarding. But the
Definitely.
setting
Absolutely.
you're putting people into, they've already committed, they're already there, they're already on the spot, they know what they want to do. And surely the fact that there is no there's no friction to start interacting with it, it just a true testament to what blockchain can be and to what all of us are essentially working towards and what the mass adoption should ideally look like.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
That's one
Totally.
of the main things that we're working to try to do is to try to lower those barriers of entry into Web3, because that's as a Web3 gamer myself, somebody who's been paying attention to it, been involved in it for the past several years. Um, we we have been sitting there, kind of waiting for these Web3 gamers to come and join us. And one of the reasons that I think that Valley is such an not only a fun project but an important project is the fact that they are taking these Web3 games and actually going out there and putting them in front of people with big flashing lights and everything, and even also using the power of nostalgia, which is a very powerful tool. I mean, you have something that's both on the cutting edge of technology and spurs nostalgia. I think that's really super cool. So that's one of the most important things about the Valley project to me, is that how we're actually putting these games out there in front of people, and it's a different way of going about doing it.
Totally. Yeah. And I think this is just in a broader sense of indie games are they're kind of like the the it girl right now. Everyone wants to play an indie game, and developers are making amazing indie games. There's still awesome AAA games being made, but I think we're all aware of like some of those bloated uh, budgets, and then the result is not what you expect, and then the biggest games in
You
the gaming are indie games, and this is going to be all, at least to start, arcade style games that can be made from it. Some of the teams are like 10 to 20 that we're talking to, others are solo devs, and developers, like our kind of secret sauce here is that if you want to start it like a new Steam or a new Epic store, um, that's really hard because the competition developers are like, why would I do that? There's less people there. But with our niche, you can have your game instantly in an arcade cabinet, in arcade cabinets all across the world. Developers have just been like, oh my God, yes, how can I be a part of this? And it's non-exclusive for developers. So this is a little game developer pitch right now, but if there's any game devs out there and you have a arcade game where, Valley's, we make it super easy for you.
So y'all got the platform, and if you need any more encouragement, and I do want to talk a little bit about the indie games, because I feel like they are the king right now, and for all the right reasons. Because actually, people actually put love into those games as opposed to them being something. I'm gonna drop a name. I'm gonna say Concord. We all know it. We all want to say it, but anyway, if you need any more encouragement to start developing, Undertale, one of the biggest indie titles that I
Yeah.
can think of, is entirely composed of if then statements. That's how simple it can be.
Interesting.
So put all of those into a nice package and ship them to Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk to us.
Yeah, we're actually going to be hosting a game jam at Happy Valley. So if you're in the Hudson Valley area, New York City area, that's going to happen in January. And we'll give you like space. We've got an office above an arcade, which is kind of cool. And that's going to be, I think, a week long in January. We'll send out more info on that. The idea there is, if you make a game that would then be it'd be for the Valley platform. So it's kind of cool.
Awesome.
It's incredible the pace you guys are moving at. I can't not talk about it. So many things happening all at once, and everything just looks great, works great.
It's just, we just don't sleep. That's it. That's
really
it.
easy. It's really just have to get rid of one thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rocket Life.
Hello, Rocket Life.
Appreciate that.
Sub Rocket Life.
Sleep is for the weak, right?
Yeah. But unfortunately, my wife is really sick right now because, I did tell her to get a flu shot, and I got a flu shot last week, and she did not. Granted, she was going to, and then she got super busy. But yeah, I think she's also been sleeping like 3 hours, 4 hours as well as I, because just incredible. Sleep is important. That's the main takeaway.
Definitely. I hope your
Yeah.
wife feels better. It's flu. It feels like flu season is coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I just kind of wanted to put you on the spot just real quick, Johnny. Like, is there, for the community's sake, is there anything that you might could leak? Any leaks?
So I guess one leak, but I think, did I mention this already? That we're gonna have the official Funko cabinet pre-sales starting hopefully later today.
I think you said
did I
that,
say
but I
that?
don't think you named a price.
Oh, okay. So $5,500 is the price for those cabinets, and that is if you're not in the space, you're like, where did that number come from? Most indie arcade cabinets are between $5,000 and $10,000. So believe it or not, that's on the more relatively inexpensive end, and those will be available for pre-order. And what that means is that if you pre-order, then your cabinet will be shipped out in the first batch. I think Funko is going to be sending them out. I'll have to confirm with this, but I think it's going to be batches of 10 to 20 at a time. So we have, I think, 6 to 8 venues that will be in that first batch, as well as all of the pre-orders that come through. And for now, it will be in fiat for those pre-orders of the cabinets. We are looking to introduce a crypto like ETH, Gala, USDC, USDT in the future for when the sale goes live, not just the pre-order.
And to clarify, that's for the professional pre-made fun cabinets. That price that you said, the 5,500.
Correct.
The DIY, which are not, the pre-sale is not started for yet. Those will be significantly more affordable. Just wanted to.
Yeah, and so those we would be what we would be selling is the PC with the baked-in Valley platform software with the higher earning. which would be the same higher earning as the official cabinets. And so you would receive that price wise, we're thinking like $150 to $500. It's really depending on the final price of the PC and what all that encryption and software looks like. Oh, sorry. It's my brother calling me. And those are for the first 500 node owners, which I think there's 325 left until 500. And the nodes are currently at $325. Wow. So there's 325 remaining for the first 500, and they're currently at $325. And if you purchase in that first 500, you would receive 2 NFTs. Every node purchase, you receive the NFT node. The node NFT, and then you would also receive the license NFT for the DIY cabinet. That if you don't have any interest in building a DIY cabinet, you could give that away, trade it, whatever you'd like.
The beauty of blockchain, it's actually yours.
I talked to
right.
somebody yesterday who had 10 nodes, and I said, "Oh man, that means you have 10 DIY licenses. Like,
Yeah,
so much you could do with that right there."
and that's something we didn't really market as much at the beginning. The DIY licenses, which I think now, especially seeing like the pre-order cabinets coming out, I think people are going to start to see what those mean and what the worth of those are.
Yeah.
I mean, the value is insane. I feel like once people start realizing it and start seeing it for what it actually is, once people start putting something together, because as you said, I feel like that's one of the most exciting things, just seeing what people can do.
And so this just came to my head from that comment. I'm going to a doctor's office in Bangkok because they were interested in purchasing a cabinet, and I was like, oh, okay. And it was like a 5-minute walk from my hotel. I was like, I'll be there in like a week, and I think the guy was like, what? But it just so happened. That has probably been the strangest venue, potential venue they haven't purchased yet. But yeah.
It's the stars just aligned, man. It's meant to be.
Yeah.
I was thinking about my DIY cabinet. I've been tossing around some ideas. I've heard a lot of people talk about going big with it. I'm thinking about going the other. I'm thinking about trying to go like portable with it, make it where it can run off of batteries. Like I want something that I can like take over to a friend's house, and it'd be like, hey, check this out, like move around and stuff like that.
I think Evenwave, did I send you the Pinterest board where
Yeah.
they literally have, control panel, which is like joysticks and buttons, and then the display, and it would fold up as a briefcase.
Yeah, like a suitcase build.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome. Bring it on a plane.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
And the builder community for the emulators is just huge. I don't know if you've been to like those subreddits, those forums, but the stuff they put together is just impressive.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I saw a cabinet that was built out of aluminum. It was one sheet of aluminum, and it was just all wrapped around. It's insane. And also the DIY cabinets, you could, it's called a coin mechanism. You could place one of those in, and then you could sell that cabinet to a venue if you so chose. You could do a rev share with a venue. So what that means is whether it's the official fun company cabinet or the DIY higher earning cabinet, you can have a relationship with, let's say, an arcade bar owner that's local to you and say, hey, I've got this unique cabinet. It's essentially like a multi-cade, where almost like a Neo Geo style cabinet. Will there be lots of different games on it? These first official cabinets are going to be 2-player, and you can place it in to the venue and then decide if you would like to do a rev share of any quarters that were coming through. That's how a lot of those operations work. We have 30 games right now, and four
30 games?
Yeah, 30. So we're small to medium sized space, since we're like half bar, half arcade, and 4 of them we have a rev share with, and it works great. Actually, sorry, 5.
Furious Curiosity. I'm monitoring the Valley Discord, and Furious Curiosity says I'm definitely setting up my DIY cabinets in New Zealand. And
ooh, nice.
That's I can't wait to see these things all around the globe. I mean, that's going to be so that's a big deal, because not only are people going to be able to go out and play arcades or play them in their house if they have a DIY, but like you said, PC, Mac, and mobile, and arcade. Like these are games that are going to have a huge audience. You know, like the the amount of potential ways that people can play. I think mobile is also going to be huge for
Yeah,
um,
and
driving a lot of those numbers.
I was talking to someone who's going to be in Bangkok. I think they are in the Philippines, and they were like, "Oh, well, this is a cool concept, but in Southeast Asia, everyone's playing on mobile." And I was like, "Oh, you can play on mobile as well. There you
There
go."
you go.
You're
Just
in
don't
Um,
own
luck.
as much.
yeah, and yeah, New Zealand, that's cool. Never been to New Zealand. Always wanted to go.
Same.
Their lamb is pretty good,
Their lamb. Oh,
and like hobbits live there. I think
yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that.
My
must be
oldest
true.
son is getting into Lord of the Rings, which is awesome because it's, it's not just the same blippy cartoon, whatever, over and over again. He's now like, what is a Balrog? I'm like, oh, finally. Yes.
It's been so many years, but every time I see the scene with the beacons being lit, I still get goosebumps. Every
Oh,
time,
yeah.
man. Every time.
Was that like Rohan and Gondor?
Yep.
I'll get back into it soon now, I'm sure. It's just great.
The beacons are lit, man. So, what I wanted to ask you personally is the third party games because I saw Haphazard Angels and I'm a huge fan of the art style. Are there more games you could talk about? Is there something you could leak potentially? Pretty please.
Um, so we have 8 third-party titles that we're talking to like 40 right now, but we have 8 that are kind of in that next step where we're just like figuring out the details. Unfortunately, I can't, without signing at least an LOI, we can't talk about them. But it's funny because like that was a huge push for us about a month or so ago, is onboarding the games, and then now we've reached this point where I think it's just because of the arcade aspect. It's been fantastic, the reception we've gotten from third party devs, where we don't have to like put as much of an onus on it at this point. Now it's more about like building out the platform. So this is just a political way of saying no, I can't. Um, but we've got lots of awesome games coming, and it was one of the things that when I was, we were conceptualizing this project in the beginning, it was like, what if nobody wants to join this ecosystem? And so happy to say that that's not a concern at
It's
all.
like the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. So that it's like, okay, this is great. That was a huge weight off of our shoulders. But yeah, sorry, I can't say any more. There are, I think right now the only 2 that we can talk about are Haphazard Angel and Obsolete Souls, which is
Mhm.
also looking really cool. It's like it's a
Oh, they beat them up.
classic beat 'em
Yeah.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, lots more coming though. Yeah,
By the way,
Ooh.
I just wanted to say before we move on, I agree with you. I can't wait to play Haphazard Angels. That game looks awesome. I love the concept of it. And
nice.
maybe we can leak that soon.
Yeah.
Mm. All right, we do have a question in YouTube. Do note owners get a discount if we visit your arcade? And by discount, I mean drink and play for free.
You know what? If you are a node owner, you will get free. Let's see.
Wait, hold on. Before you comment this live, you might want to make a couple of exceptions because everybody
math.
around your town is just
Oh
going to be like,
man.
"Oh, okay." Yeah.
Oh
Seems
man.
like you want to
Okay. I will personally cover your tab. If or let's no, you know what? I'm gonna backtrack. Sorry, already. I'll give you 2 rounds for free.
There you go.
Playing for free. Let's just say you get a round for free every time you come once a day. Let's do something like that, because I know someone in town is going to buy one and then come every day and drink for free and eat for free. So I can't go too far. We have had a couple community members already stop by, and I think I've hooked up all of them so far. Playing for free, since we went old school with it, we've got like CRT monitors in most of our games, and coin mechs. That's pretty difficult because they all just accept quarters. That was like a cool thing we decided to do in the beginning, because you can make a little bit more money off the tokens, and tokens are cool because then you've got that like keepsake. But the idea of just bringing in a pocket full of quarters and playing for hours, that was what I really wanted. We actually were going to go free to play, but I was talking to a manager of Barcade, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with. They're a chain. I think they're all over the U.S. now. They started in New York City. They were like, yeah, we started with free to play, and people weren't playing the games. They were like going up to a game, playing it for like 10 seconds, then going to the there was no, they weren't invested at all. So like, good for us that what made more sense from like a engagement perspective was to charge a quarter. Free to play games online I think can work for sure for many reasons, but yeah, in the arcade it was like they weren't playing that much with the free to play. It's
It's
weird.
all the years of like TikToks and like Instagram Reels just catching up to people and just shortening their attention spans unless they're invested into it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a drug. It's like doom scrolling. It's hard to get out of when you're in it. And then
Yeah.
you catch yourself and you're like, what am I doing? You have to just like throw your phone.
Yeah, like why did I just spend the last 2 hours of my life learning about like fucking woodworking of all fucking things?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. Woodworking, it's a skill you can use. Like, and I don't even know some of the stuff I'll look at. It's just like, what the fuck? What
Yeah,
am
I
I
need
doing?
you to call my wife and explain why I bought the fucking miter saw because I'm struggling a little.
For your DIY cabinet, of course.
That's what you say. It's like you just keep telling her, like, you'll see, you'll see, you'll see,
Yeah.
and then eventually she will see.
Yep. Yep. I'll try that. I'll try that. We'll see how that works.
Hey, I've
So
got a
circling
question.
back. Oh,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
I just see a question here in the Valley Discord from Niner. I wanted to answer. Niner says, "Can you discuss how the DIY cabinet accounts for your license earning higher?" Which is a good question.
That's a great question, and that is something that technically I do not know. That is something that our development team is. I think they've figured it out, or if they haven't figured it out, they're working on it. That is since I'm a non-technical, um, you know, non-developer. I can't give an exact answer for that. I know that they have safeguarded it and encrypted it and made it in a way where that it's like safe.
Yeah,
Because that's super important that that can't be copied.
yeah. It's essentially to answer the question. Because I had to answer a question like this not too long ago. When you buy a pre-made cabinet, that license, and this is not a technical answer. That license is essentially baked into the cabinet, and part of the reason that the DIY cabinets are going to be sold that way is because what you're also buying is a computer that has that same kind of setup where it's like baked in there, encrypted. So for
Yeah,
a non-technical answer, that's pretty much it. It's hardware encrypted.
but we can get a more technical answer for you on that for
Yes,
sure.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the garage door right above me to close because it's super loud.
I can hear it.
I
I
didn't
just
even hear it.
realized your mic, the colors turn on when you tap it. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
HyperX, not sponsored. Super cool though. Very very easy to use. So what I wanted to ask you is the mobile aspect because more and more of these big indie titles are migrating to mobile because most of them just fit very well and they feel good on a touchscreen. So I was very curious about how you're going to approach that, whether these games are going to exist independently, whether there's just going to be one single Valley app that people would need to download. If you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, so that is our platform. It's going to be like you would see on like Epic or Steam, and so that is where you'll be able to find and access all of our games. Um, we are saying that the majority of games will be able to be played on the arcade, um, PC, Mac, and mobile. There may be a few that can't be played on mobile. All of them will be played in the arcade, at least in the foreseeable future. And the platform will be something that you could, I know you can download it. I think you can just access it via the web as well. And then, of course, in the arcade, it will be loaded up already. And another kind of cool thing that we just started getting into and just started talking to some logistics companies and hardware companies is we're looking at handhelds as well. No promises on this, but we just ordered a few and we're running some tests because it'd be really cool to have a Valley handheld. And I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there's like so many options now, and there's some really great ones out there that don't break the bank. The big decision there would be if we go that route, we would not, it would not be the higher earning rate because we want to keep those arcade cabinets special. Maybe we would have like a handheld earning rate that's like somewhere in between. It would be much closer to the online rate. At the end of the day, like we want it to be like arcade cabinet is, you see one in the wild and you're like, oh my God, like I could play this. And, what I would play at home, I could earn. I don't know if we can talk about the earning. I think it's going to be at least 10 times as much. I think.
Let's just say it's going to be significant.
Yeah, it's going to be significant.
Yeah, you'll notice the difference.
Thanks, Even Wave. Good save. Yeah.
I got some to pitch to you, considering there are so many platforms and like so many ways to interact. Especially with the handhelds, and it just crossed my mind when you brought it up. So when you purchase a Steam Deck, I think if you buy one of the higher tiers with the Steam Deck and like the case it comes in, you also get a border and a PFP that you can only get with the purchase of the higher tiered Steam Deck. So I feel like it would be really cool to see the leaderboard and people have these like borders or badges that represent whether or not they achieved this on like an arcade cabinet, handheld, DIY cabinet, or whether or not they like own one of those, a few of those.
That's great. That's one of those like very simple ideas that we just hadn't thought of. But of course, yeah, that sounds perfect. Why not? Have a little joystick if it's on an arcade. Have like a mouse or a keyboard and then have like a little mobile. That's really cool. Have to talk to our devs because they might be like, that's way harder than you think. But I love that. Yeah.
I have like I don't know if you've ever seen those insane streams of people beating like Dark Souls by using fruit as controllers.
Yeah. I have seen that. That's funny. Nice. So I have to head out in 5 minutes to pick up my kids from school since my wife is sick, unfortunately. But
okay, I feel like
I just want to reiterate is that if you are wanting to participate now, there's lots of different ways to do it, which is cool because now we're starting to become an actual ecosystem. I guess one way is play our Discord games today, and you will earn tickets, which will be redeemable for Valley Token in sometime in Q1 of 2025. Tickets, like tickets at an arcade, and then you'll redeem them for your reward, your prize, what have you. And that's great. You can start doing that now. Starting next week will be Flutter, and that you'll be able to earn same way. That's going to be really exciting. And then the cabinet pre-sales will hopefully go live later today for the official Fun Code cabinets, which is also really cool. And then I think owning a node, that's a great way to start accruing tickets for now. Valley, once the TGE goes live, you can do that from our node sale. They're currently $325, and you've got the next 325 will receive that second NFT, which is a license for the DIY cabinet, which does earn at that higher rate. So I think, was that everything, Even Wave?
I think so.
Now,
that was about everything.
Okay. Yeah.
Okie doke, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Even Wave, Johnny, I really appreciate you guys coming on. I feel like a lot of the things we talked about and covered, people really needed to hear that. And honestly, I'm personally very excited about everything that's happening. I'm looking forward to everything you guys are doing. Elijah ditched me, but I'm willing to say he's feeling the same way. Before we leave, y'all make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to join the Valley Discord server, the LFG server. There are more of these coming, and there is a whole lot to cover. You guys have no idea, and this is the best way to stay in touch.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.